I don't count calories. I hate MyFitnessPal. I don't do the macro thing. I don't do any of that. I just keep it very, very simple. The frameworks of my meals typically follow suit every single time. A lot of people think, oh, like I gotta go low on carbs. I don't believe in any of that. However, I'm gonna take you guys kind of with me and show you the kind of meals that I like to have. You're not gonna eat with me because I don't think anybody else deserves that, to be honest. A little bit of a different environment out here today. I've been getting a lot of questions. Dude, what's your diet like? How are you training? By the way, I completely forgot. I don't care if we're down in the dungeon or up in the kitchen. It's time to take off the pump cover, fresh off of training. I've been hitting the 2 days like I told you guys, but my diet is super locked in. And the way I do things is very, very typical every single day. I'm gonna show you guys what time it is. Check this out. It's 11:35. See that? 11:36. 11:35. You get the idea. So I already know you guys are thinking, how are you eating this late all the time? This is like clockwork, by the way. This is how I'm eating every single night. Nothing changes whatsoever. And I do that because it allows me to train for the second time in a day. I call it dangling the donut. So in order for me to get access to food, I have to go down and train. That's it. And it forces me to obviously increase my output because I'm not one to tell myself no. I don't count calories. I hate MyFitnessPal. I don't do the macro thing. I don't do any of that. I just keep it very, very simple. A lot of people think, oh, like I gotta go low on carbs. I don't believe in any of that. I'm gonna take you guys kind of with me and show you the kind of meals that I like to have. You're not gonna eat with me because I don't think anybody else deserves that. Time to open up the fridge. Like I said, there is a lot of stuff that for me, I can have all the time. So look, I got this rotisserie chicken from Costco. $5. Oh, it's so expensive to eat healthy. No, it's not. It's actually not at all. Especially for most of you cats that are probably eating out for at least 2 meals a day. You're like, I can't afford steak. I can't afford this. Yeah, you can. And it's way better. Really? You liking this Zog slop that you've been having 24/7? Forget all that, dude. And look, I got these packages of steak. See these? I actually never buy eye of round steaks, but they're $5.49 a pound, which is fantastic. But I'll be honest with you, I'm starting to get a little bit fancy with the food sources that I like to have. Like, you know, the grass-fed ground beef. It's just really, really good stuff. You know what I mean? Regardless, it's super, super easy. Like every single one of my meals is gonna be centered around an animal protein, whether that's steak, chicken. Look at that, dude. Look at that beauty. What do you season it with? Dude, one at a time. We've got plenty of time together. I'm not planning on leaving YouTube anytime soon. Let's get to know each other. Let's kind of take our time. I'm not going to tell you everything about me. I want it to kind of happen, you know, organically. This video is just meant to be quick to kind of show you, like, even these shrimps right over here, right? Seafood's great. Ground beef, fantastic. It's all the same. The percentages I like to do, it's a reasonable question. I already know. I'm answering the question before you even asked it. I like 93.7 personally. That's just a personal preference. But anything above, like 90 and above, especially if you're a guy who can really put down food, I highly recommend it. Because that way you can eat more of it. And although I don't count calories, I just understand that the more fat there is in something, the more dense it's going to be. You get what I mean? And I just really, really enjoy eating. So it just depends. If you're trying to bulk up, what do you think that means? Go 80-20 on that guy. It's fantastic for you. The thing is animal protein is so difficult to replicate. That's why when you see vegans or vegetarians be like, I can't put on muscle, it's like, yeah, I can probably guess that. And to be honest with you, I'm not the one to come to be like, hey, how do I get around that? Only thing I could tell you is maybe Greek yogurt. And even then, as a vegetarian, I don't know, I know some vegetarians that can have fish, in which case you're fine. Just really, really lean in on fish. Now let's get into the other stuff. As you can see over here, eggs. Eggs are fantastic. That's also a centerpiece of my meals. One thing I want to show you guys are these guys. And you're probably very familiar with this food source. Potatoes. I have potatoes all the time. Potatoes and rice is what I lean on all the time. And I basically have it every single day. And if I choose not to, then I'll probably just go higher on the proteins. And obviously, listen, I'm always going to go high on protein. Let me make that very, very clear. The centerpiece of every single meal is going to be centered around protein. And then I accompany it with either a carb or a fat. That doesn't mean that they kind of can't go through. We'll actually talk about that in a different video. I'm going to give you guys that dieting framework. It is absolutely ridiculous because it works even if you have family get-togethers. Anyways, Nice little plug-in for the next video that we're gonna do. But point is I usually pair it up with, like, I'll do chicken and potatoes, or I'll do steak and potatoes. I'll do eggs on top. You can do avocado. And then for dessert, like clockwork, fruits. Nectarine, I got a nectarine here. We got apples here, oranges, kiwi, grapes. And then on top of that, even one thing I had before bed are these oikos things. I'm loving the Greek yogurts because it's like a dessert, man. Like, it tastes absolutely fantastic. I know you guys are gonna wanna be like, Rommy, I wanna see you eat one time. That'll probably be the next video realistically. But I just wanna kind of get started talking about diet because it's not something I really don't talk about diet often. And I should, because it's also part of my training. I just believe everything starts with training. And once you train correctly and you really empty the energy clip on a day-to-day basis, you'll want to nourish correctly. And that's why I really want to set the boundary and, like, the guideline and the foundation of this page to be centered around training, because once you train super, super hard, it just makes everything in your life, even outside of, like, the dieting part and fitness. I'm talking about even the way you handle yourself, your level of swagger, your charisma, your confidence, your conviction. It's just a lot easier for it to fall into place. You're just setting up your pieces correctly, your base is set up, and now it's much easier for you to knock it out the park. Please shut up. Yep. Anyways, I do fruit for dessert, and then I have this non-fat Greek yogurt. I lean in on this guy, and it's like a recipe I have. I call it the Lebanon concoction. But I can't tell you what that is. Not yet. Not yet. But the point is, it's all basically centered around, for me, as you guys can see, basically chickens, cows, and fishes. You do those, you're going to be fine. You have eggs. You have Greek yogurts. And then you obviously can have, and this is one thing I hate what people do, man, is you can have rice, you can have potatoes, you can even have pasta. And I just stick to potatoes. And notice there are white potatoes. You can have sweet potatoes. Those aren't bad. White potatoes aren't bad either. White rice isn't bad. Just keep it simple. Clean on your seasoning cabinet. Do hot sauces. You can have whatever, man. Like, there's so much good food that you're going to happen to like. When I say good food, I mean nutritious food, food that's considered healthy, that you're going to like. Let me ask you something. You're like, oh, man, like, you know, I really want to eat a certain way, dude. Like, I don't want to say no to fun. I have way more fun smashing a steak than I ever would smashing some just zog slop. No, thank you. I don't, that doesn't even sound fun to me anymore. And even then, if you really, really want to have fun, buy a bunch of steaks, cook them up with your boys. You don't think that's going to be a blast? Way more of a blast than be like, hey, bro, did you get the double chalupa cheese? No, dude, forget all that. Trust me, it's not even worth it. And it's stupid. It doesn't even taste good, and it's expensive nowadays. You can't walk out of Taco Bell, I can imagine, for less than 10 bucks anymore if you actually want to eat like a real human. I'll show you guys more meals and stuff, but this is just an introduction to kind of let you know about my dieting. I do eat every night, like at this time, like an absolute animal. These are my biggest meals. My biggest meals of the day come at night, like clockwork. And I love it because I go downstairs after working all day, just get to just hammer out some more weights, extra volume, and I've never been in this shape of my entire life. I don't even sleep that great. I'm telling you, once you have things super dialed in, it's just everything comes downhill. You just become an absolute animal. But anyways, I appreciate you guys watching this video. It's probably a little bit boring today and a little bit weird just because I'm kind of just like grabbing stuff, but this is just an intro, okay? It's a little bit of an intro. We'll get into it. Don't worry, it's going to get nasty up in here. Anyways, guys, love y'all. Uncle Rommy out. Peace.